voters, as your independent candidate for Sheffield Hallam, I'll not be trying to seduce you to vote for me with promises of tax cuts or increased government spending or a miraculous trick to pay off the national debt. I will, however, be asking for your vote and support to act as your Member of Parliament in a fundamentally different way. I believe that whatever plans or promises any political party make in the general election run-up, these plans can never be guaranteed to the electorate. Manifesto plans are written on paper, but we all know the real world isn't made of paper, and when circumstances change, any future government will have to react to this, and external influences will have an impact on their ability to deliver promises. Take, for example, the financial crisis. This had quite profound effect on all of our lives over the past few years, and continues to do so. Yet I do not recall a single politician in the run-up to the last general election promising that they would introduce financial stability for the whole world. They just couldn't and simply didn't see this coming. As such, any promises can really only be taken as an indication of an intention or a priority. And if any manifesto was ever brave enough to publish it, I'm sure the small print would say something like, promises subject to change at any time, dependent on prevailing conditions. So if we accept that all parties will inherit this restriction, then we are really voting for candidates based upon the trust that they will make the best decisions on our behalf. The reason that I felt compelled to stand as an independent candidate is that I believe that this trust is far too often broken when MPs base their votes and their allegiance basically on party lines rather than on what's best for the electorate. The expense scandal was an extreme abuse of this trust, but even routinely MPs will vote along clear party lines without really considering what the public really wants. My cast iron guarantee to you, the electorate, is that I will always consult with you and consult continuously with you to ensure that I am voting and acting on your behalf at all times. As an independent, 100% of my time and efforts will be for the benefit of the electorate, not some higher authority political party. I will speak openly, without fear of party censorship, and I make sure that your voice is heard by Parliament, who has often appeared deaf to it. My methods for consulting continuously with you will be via an electronic forum, and I hope what will be the most proactive constituency office in the country. I have, of course, my own strong opinions and values, and I'd like to share a few of these with you now so that you can determine if I'm the candidate that you can trust with your vote. For instance, on the economy, I'm a big believer in the statement that we simply can't tax ourselves to prosperity. The economic growth patterns of the last decade that were built upon the foundations of asking each of us to spend more, get into more debt and keep shopping just can't be repeated. The country needs real and sustained economic growth to put our finances in order and to increase the living standards of every citizen. I believe that the undervalued sector of manufacturing can provide the answer. If we look at the astonishing growth that China and India have had over the last 10 years, we need to understand that they have a strong backbone of manufacturing in their economy. The UK has always proven to be a very hotbed of innovation, and I'm sure that we can also extend this to manufacturing industry once again. I know for certain people that they might think manufacturing is a dead industry, but I know that today it's alive and well here in Sheffield. I help run a company where 25% of what we do is exported all over the world. Countries such as Australia and South Africa are taking our products, and they're built here in Sheffield with Sheffield steel. We create value, wealth and jobs for this city. I propose government incentives to attract global manufacturers to the UK, which would bring jobs and tax revenue for the General Exchequer. I would lobby for government grants and support for companies to develop green energy solutions, because I really believe that we have an opportunity to become a world leader in this field. To help manufacturing industries across the UK, I'd look to pull back unnecessary bureaucracy, and the banks that we own as a nation would be forced with watertight measures to make sure that finance was available when and where businesses needed it. On taxation and government spending, I'll be extremely vocal in making sure that the next government took real and quantifiable steps to make sure that every pound that we put into the tax coffers is spent to the maximum value. Frontline services and jobs in the health and education must be protected at all costs. I believe that university student fees should stay, but that they should be held at the current levels for 5 years. Our taxation system should be fair, and it should place an equal burden on all of our shoulders. It must be simple, transparent, and tax loopholes must be closed off very quickly. On the important question of immigration, I will support a review of our non-EU immigration system, and if a cap on annual immigration is proven to be beneficial to our economy, then I would support this. On defence, I want to ensure that our brave service people have the very best equipment, housing and healthcare possible. I find it absolutely abhorrent that these people that we ask to put their lives on the line for us are not provided with the maximum protection while they're doing that. That said, I would fight very vigorously to stop our involvement in unjust wars and in any future potential unjust wars. The first duty of any government is to defend its citizens, of course, but we must ensure that we don't cross the line of a preemptive aggression. For 16 to 18-year-olds who are not in full-time education or employment, I propose compulsory military service, with the guarantee that they'd never go to a war zone or to combat. The military service would combine education and work experience, such as vehicle maintenance, engineering or communications. For the environment, I would support continued moves to increase taxation on polluting activities, and to subsidise and support green initiatives such as an increase in cycle lanes. Having worked in Holland, I've seen how effective pedal power can be. On the subject of criminal justice, I would push for tougher sentencing and the removal of automatic reductions in sentencing for good behaviour. Life should mean life, and I'll be determined to see an end to an early release programme and to increase the rights of citizens to defend their property and themselves. On foreign policy, I'd push for a decoupling of our automatic stance to follow the United States wherever it goes, and instead I'd push for stronger and reinforced ties at the UN. I won't pretend for a moment that I've got all the answers to the issues that dominate our day-to-day lives, but I am certain that you, the people of Sheffield Hallam, can be further encouraged and motivated to have a greater say in how your country is run. I will be honoured to represent you at Westminster and to make sure that your important views, your values and your heartfelt opinions are heard and acted upon. In finishing, I'd like to thank you for your time. I'd like you to ask you to use your vote on May the 6th. I'd like you to think independently, act independently and vote Fitzpatrick. Thank you for your time.